It's time for Mac Geek Gab, and listener James brings us our quick tip of the week by sharing that on our iPhones, if we're in Messages, in iOS 17, we have that little plus sign in the corner. You can hit that little plus sign, then you can choose things like, say, photos, and then go select a photo and share it to Messages. There is a faster way. Just press and hold on that plus sign in Messages down in the lower left. This is when you're in a message, typing back and forth with someone or a group of someone's. Hold down that plus sign, and it will bring up photos, and you can get there with one tap. It is game-changing, perhaps even life-changing. More quick tips like this, plus your questions answered today on Mac Geek Gab 1012 for Monday, December 4th. Happy birthday, kiddos, 2023! Greetings, folks, and welcome to Mac Geek Gab, the show where we share your quick tips. Like that, we share your cool stuff found. We share your questions. We try to answer your questions. We even sometimes ask our own questions. We string it all together loosely into an agenda of themes such that we give ourselves the best option, the best chance of learning at least 5 new things every single time we come together. Fastmail.com/MGG is our sponsor for this week, where you can go and get 10% off your first year of my current primary email service. We'll talk more in depth about that a little bit here later in the show. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
Here in South Dakota, I'm Adam Christensen.
And here in Lee, New Hampshire, it's Pilot Pete. Good to be with both of you guys today. This is cool.
Yeah,
the new era
welcome.
has begun.
I know, the new era. Welcome to the fray here, Adam.
You're going to be sorry.
One of us is going to be sorry.
I was talking to you, Dave.
That's right. Yeah, no, good to have you here, Adam.
Don't try to cause too much trouble.
Why? Why wouldn't
you
you cause trouble?
What are you doing here then?
Oh, okay.
I guess.
That.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I said it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I know. I know you're in. It's for better and for worse. It's good. I know. It's great to have you. I'm really stoked about this. We got to figure out how to get your audio level to be even with us while echo cancellation is off, because otherwise it'll be weird, just like that conversation was. But we will fix that. More evolution just like that as things progress here in Mac Geek Gab land. Speaking of progressing, Kent has our next quick tip for us. He says, I finally bought some AirTags on a pre-Black Friday sale, and before they arrived, I started questioning my choice. I wondered if both my wife and I would be able to track our tagged items together. My initial searches seemed to say no, one AirTag, one owner, so to speak. However, most of those articles I found were dated a year ago. That may have been the case before, but now with iOS 17, that has changed. When setting up an AirTag, the owner can designate one or more additional users, up to 5. They do not have to be in one's family group, but they do need to have an Apple ID. And it's true. Yeah, being able to share AirTags really changes the nature of how these things can work. I think I like it. I think it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Are you doing any AirTag sharing, Pete?
Do I have to admit that I didn't realize that until this quick tip came?
No, that's why we do the quick tips, Pete.
Right? I mean, it's like, I'm not, but we're gonna. I mean,
I think I'm going to start.
I shouldn't be the only one that can find the remote.
Yeah. Do you have an AirTag on your remote?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Then yes, correct. That's a great one. We have AirTags in each of our suitcases.
Right.
I'm going to make those shared. Like that would be a handy thing. Right. To know where our suitcase, like it doesn't, that way if one person uses a different suitcase, it doesn't matter. It's like, oh yeah, I have the, the red away bag. Okay, great. I know.
Here's the thing, and I don't know if it's in Cool Stuff Found or not, but we've talked about them before, so it doesn't need to be. Is there's cards that are like, they're twice the thickness of a credit card, but they're the same size, that have the AirTag ability in them.
Yeah, Find My ability.
I've ordered those for stocking stuffers for everybody. And hopefully those will be shareable as well, because one of the suggestions was put them in your luggage tag. So when people are looking through your bag for that AirTag to get rid of, they aren't even thinking about the luggage tag being the AirTag.
Yeah, different form factor. Right.
Yeah.
You sharing any AirTags?
You know, it
Adam?
notifies you, hey, you know, you've stolen this suitcase. There's an AirTag following you. Well, I'll go find the AirTag and throw it away.
Right.
So if you have an old dead AirTag, keep it in there so they can throw it away and think they've.
Well, but you know you can change the battery on AirTags, Pete.
Yes.
They don't. So
Yeah,
they shouldn't shouldn't die. At least not from a battery standpoint.
Right.
Just make sure you don't get batteries with that coating on them. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just don't put them in your mouth.
Well, I mean, you right. Also, don't put them in your mouth. But the coating makes it so that the AirTag can't get a connection to the battery.
Good connection. Wow.
Yeah.
So if you scrape it a little, I found if you scrape it a little and people say, you know, hitting a file on a lithium ion battery, and you know, yeah, I kind of get it. But if you just scrape it with a nice gentle file, like even a nail file, it'll take that bitter coating off that is meant to keep babies from swallowing your batteries.
Yeah,
that's interesting because my battery just died on my first, because I got the AirTags right when they came out, and I just had to replace the battery. And I think I just got whatever one's Duracell cells, and I think they have the coating on them, and I haven't had any issues. So
wow,
well, that's good.
Yeah,
I mean, they may not have they might all have the coating, and some of them are thicker than others, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, the coating is to keep children. Well, any humans, but predominantly children who have yet to be told to know better, from putting them in their mouths. It's a bitter taste or something. I don't know. I haven't actually tasted it. I should taste it the next time I have an AirTag battery. It doesn't work. I'm definitely going to lick the thing.
I mean, I lick batteries just at 9 volts to make sure they're good. You know.
Oh, I mean, I don't have coffee in the morning, but I definitely, put a 9 volt on my tongue to have a little pick me up at the beginning of the day.
Wakey, wakey.
Wakey, wakey.
But to answer your question from a while ago, no, I'm not sharing any AirTags. I actually am the only one in my family who uses an AirTag currently. My wife has misplaced her wallet, and we've recovered it, luckily, a couple times. And I was like, oh, I have extra AirTags. I should give you one. But like Pete was pointing out, to put them in a wallet, they're too thick, right? So I was considering actually getting one of those compatible, Find My compatible flat ones to give her. So I don't know if
gave
those
everybody
shareable.
AirTags last year for Christmas, and I got a lot of resistance from my spouse unit, and she loves it. It's saved her a couple times now. She can find her purse, she find the keys.
Yeah. So, yeah. My wife doesn't do a purse. She just has she's like me. I have to have a thin wallet. So I do not like anything really thick. That's mine. That's what I use.
I've been using it's just a little
binder cash he's showing there, folks.
That's right. That's right.
Binder. The best and most affordable money clip ever. It's just a binder clip.
Binder clip. Yeah. I have moved to using a MagSafe wallet, very specifically a MagSafe wallet with a pop socket on it, and that has been great because I don't have it here in the studio with me because I leave my wallet in my car. Maybe I shouldn't announce that, but that's where I leave my wallet. But I like I have a MagSafe pop socket on my phone all the time, and it's really nice to just be able to take that off, put my MagSafe pop socket wallet on, and I still have a pop socket on the outside of my phone when I need to have a wallet. So that I've been happy with. Pete, we need to get a link in the show notes. We will have a link in the show notes for the Find My compatible wallet thin.
I'll find it right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at some point. Yeah. Yep. All right. You want to take us to JT here, Adam?
To JT.
Yeah.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
JT-Ray, here he is. Oh yeah, this is the one where he gives me some credit. So he says, I have to credit Adam Christensen for this tip. So many episodes I can't recall, so I'm guessing this was a while back. On your create a new note, press Option Shift K, and that will type the Apple symbol. I made my note, the title, and the body. Am I reading this right?
No, you know what? Let me read this. I think he dictated this, Adam. The tip, the tip is to put to create a text replacement with the Apple logo in it, so that you can type the Apple logo quickly whenever you are doing something. Now that you're here,
I did a while ago. Yeah. So this is using the built-in text replacement. So if you go into settings, general keyboard text replacement, you can click the little plus symbol in the upper right-hand corner and you can add text replacements. And so if you can't remember, the quick key options for, say, something like the Apple symbol or anything really, any symbols, you can put those in there. So you can either copy and paste that in from somewhere or just, type it in or use the text input thing up in the menu bar. But once you have it in there, you can give it any shortcut you like. So it looks like JT was using comma APL. I think I used AAPL, which is the stock symbol for Apple, which I regret. I actually need to change it because it comes up too much. But you want to find something that you're not probably going to commonly type, but that you can easily remember. Set that up in there, and then you have that good to go. I mean, outside of that, I use Text Expander, so I have a lot of these set up in Text Expander rather than keyboard, the built-in stuff. But the built-in stuff works. It's really good. So
yeah, I like the built-in stuff for things like this that I'm going to want to type like in text messages and those things, because on my iPhone, I don't always have the Text Expander keyboard up. And it's just nice to have this. But of course, Text Expander is way more robust and full featured. And so I use Text Expander for other things. Yeah. The
more advanced things. And then if you need them, you can switch the keyboard over there. But for simple little quickie ones like this, another one that I do is common typos that I have. So for some reason, every time I type download, I swap the O and the A. So I put the misspelling in there as the key, and then it corrects to the right spelling when I just fumble it,
Oh, I like that idea. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's cool.
I was going to say, as good as Apple likes to think it's, it's text autocorrection is, we all know it's not great all the time.
Not all the time. It is better now. Where I'm noticing it being better is when I'm not in an app that's using, like, not in an Apple app, like when I'm in like typing an email in Thunderbird, I miss the predictive text thing that I get when I'm in, messages or mail, if I happen to be in that on my phone or whatever. So it has gotten better, and I am palpably aware of that on the regular. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But that, like, this Apple thing, I'm sure maybe it's doable. I don't know how to trigger the Apple logo on my iPhone. So I love this tip that JT-Ray conveyed of yours, because it's like, put it in there, and then now I can type it wherever I want. So
yeah. Does it? I bet you it comes up under one of those press and hold keys.
I'm sure it does.
It is maybe okay if that's what the normal shortcut is.
Oh, yeah. So feedback at macgeekgab.com, folks, and let us know what how to get there. It's not under the K, by the way, but I'm sure it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but if you do, feedback at macgeekgab.com.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Where? Did you say feedback at macgeekgab.com?
I think I did. I think that's what I said.
Adam, could you read the banner at the bottom and tell us what it says?
It says feedback at macgeekgab.com.
Well, there you have it then. That settles it.
That's it.
It's on the internet. It must be true.
It's on the internet. It must be true. It's time to shut down the internet, Pete.
Right on.
You want to take us to Wes before we shut down the internet?
Oh, I can do that, I think. Wes wrote in, and this is really confusing. Even listening to it, it may be a little confusing, but he writes, guys, in response to Gab about silence things, I had all my notifications turned off after a restart for the last few days. No idea why. It's happened to me too, Wes. Neither do I. He says, I went exploring today and found in settings/sounds and haptics that haptics was changed to always play instead of play in silent mode. This caused haptics to block all sounds. This frustrated me for 2 days of missed calls and text. My Apple Watch on my wrist this morning saved me today. Well, and that's saved me a few times too, that my Apple Watch has notified me, hey, you've got something, when my phone didn't make any sounds. And it made me change the way my iPhone and the world is now spinning in the right direction because he went in and did this. So here's the thing. When haptics is on always play, you're thinking, well, that's great. That's what I want. I always want the haptics. Well, not when your phone isn't silenced. You want sounds. And my understanding is when you have haptics as always play, that's what you're getting. And so you want to select play in silent mode.
Oh, interesting.
You want sounds and haptics to play in silent mode. If you have always play, then even when your phone is not silenced, you're getting you're getting no rings, but you're just getting haptics. I think that's what's happening there, because I think that's what was happening to me. I've missed a lot of calls and a lot of notifications, and I thought, well, I must have just goobered my focus.
Sure. But, really?
Yeah.
So mine
Tell
is
me what
set
your
to,
read on that is, Dave.
Mine is set to always play, which it says haptics will play when iPhone rings or receives an alert. And then play in silent mode says haptics will play when iPhone rings or receives an alert while in silent mode. And then there's don't play in silent mode, which would indicate that it's going to play it in regular mode, but not silent mode. And then there's never play. So I think always play, you're still going to get sound. You're just not going to get, you would get sound and haptics in not silent mode. I believe.
Okay.
I
So when
believe.
your phone is silent, it's going to give you haptics. Unsilenced, you're still going to get haptics, you think?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you would want it in always play because, if it's in your pocket and you're in a loud environment,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
want it vibrating for you.
But I leave my phone in silent mode almost exclusively, so I can't speak to this.
Yeah.
I need to mess with it.
And between
now.
that and the focus mode, this gets convoluted very quickly. So, I would have somebody around to text and to call you and to do some tests to make sure it's doing what you want in the mode you have chosen.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to trick yourself into not being notified when there's an incoming call. And if you've got an elderly parent or somebody needs to reach you, that's a bad way to be. So.
Yeah, I mean, I believe what Wes said. Like It's interesting that changing this from always play to play in silent mode brought his sounds back. That's weird. Yeah.
We weren't there, and we don't know what all the other settings were interfacing. So
well, and it could be just this, and that like we always say on macOS, but it's also true on iOS. The settings interface is really just a GUI to changing the entries in plist files, right? Like, I mean, I may be oversimplifying it, but that's essentially what's happening, right? This is it. You could make all these settings changes if you could get to a terminal and manipulate the right files. Of course, on iPhone, that's not the easiest thing to do.
Even more difficult.
Right. Yeah. Nearly impossible. Right. But that is what's happening. So, and sometimes on the Mac, we say, well, just turn the setting off and then on again, and that'll rewrite the preference file and often fixes
great.
it. So is that what happened on iPhone? Like it's literally the same construct is happening. So he rewrote the prefs file by changing that setting, and maybe that's the answer. I don't know. What do you think, Adam?
I mean, I agree with, I fully agree with that theory. I mean, that's, that's the classic, like what we used to do in the old school days on the Mac. It's like, go delete the preferences file and relaunch the thing, right? It's basically the same thing on iOS. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So so at least my theory holds water, whether or not it's correct.
Yeah. We'd have to be able to go in on iOS and like check the plist file, I guess.
Yeah, we can't do that. That's not happening.
Exactly.
That's not how it works.
Well, and my big answer to Wes was, this is a dangerous setting to not clearly understand. So I go back to my advice. Make sure you've got somebody else around and have them call you, have them text you. Make sure your settings are coming through as you want.
Confirm. Yeah. Trust, but verify.
Amen.
Yep. Absolutely. Danny has our final quick tip of this week, or at least the final one that we're going to get to, because we're taking we're taking little detours, which is what we do. This is how we learn. Yeah, this is how the 5 new things happen. Danny says, when I check for app updates on my phone, I often see apps that I don't use or forget I even had. I discovered that you can swipe left on an app from the update page and an option to delete it appears right there. There's no need to hunt it down elsewhere. Am I the only one that didn't know this? I'm sure you're not the only one, Danny. I appreciate that you posted about this in our Discord at macgeekgab.com/Discord, because this is something I've been doing ever since this option came, which I think was iOS 15. It might have been 14, but it wasn't there, and then it appeared. And I was super thankful for exactly the reason you articulate here. And yet, even though I do this multiple times a week, I never thought to mention it in the show. And so, Danny, you get all the credit.
Thank you, Danny.
This one.
I'm going to start doing that. I got to thin my iPhone apps.
It's a great way to thin your iPhone, so long as the developers are keeping the apps updated. If it's an app that has gone stale, this is not a way to.
That's the one I always like. I get a new phone and I go to use the app, and it's like, delete it because it's no longer available. Like, wait, what? I like that app.
Yeah.
It worked on my other phone.
All right, folks, let's dive into a topic that we all deal with on the daily. That's email. It's our lifeline to the world, right? But sometimes it feels like it's more trouble than it's worth. This is where our sponsor, Fastmail, steps in, revolutionizing our email experience for over 2 decades. Imagine an email service that's completely ad-free and doesn't track you. That's Fastmail. Privacy-focused and user-friendly. Fastmail isn't just about sending and receiving emails, it's about doing it smarter. With masked email, for example, your real email address stays hidden. Scheduled send lets you send emails on your time, and snooze, well, it just helps you deal with emails on your terms. They offer a variety of plans catering to both personal and professional needs. Switching from another email provider is easy as pie. Pumpkin pie. After Thanksgiving, I like my pumpkin pie. It's easy as pie with Fastmail's import and export tool. I was able to set up my Fastmail to import from my Gmail account, which is what I used previously. This was like 5-6 years ago. Doesn't matter. It's still just as simple. I set it up. I logged it into my Gmail account and I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. Everything was imported. I've been good to go ever since. And you can set up your email just the way you like with folders, labels, custom swipes, and even themes. If you need help, real human support is just a call or a click away. So if you're in the market for an email provider that's secure, versatile, and respects your privacy, look no further than Fastmail. To find out more, visit fastmail.com/MGG and get 10% off your first year. And be sure to follow them on Facebook, X, Mastodon, and LinkedIn. Fastmail.com/MGG, where your email experience gets the upgrade it deserves. And our thanks to Fastmail for sponsoring this episode. All right, we got a question from Old Guy in Discord. That's not a derogatory term, I don't think. It's their name.
What he calls himself.
That's right. Yes, exactly. Saying Santa's elves disguised as FedEx couriers delivered me a 14-inch MacBook Pro running M3. It took a little over 6 hours to do a Wi-Fi migration from the Air to the Pro, and all the Mac software that I tried so far has moved over seamlessly. And he says, I went through a couple of other things, haven't tried to install everything yet. Is there any advice that you have from upgrading from my Intel Mac to an Apple Silicon Mac? It all seems good, but is there anything I should look deeper at now that I have made the jump using Migration Assistant? And this is, I think there's several things here. The one that jumps to mind for me is making sure that you are running the Apple Silicon version of the apps that you just migrated over. In theory, most of them have been up to date or been updated, and you're running, what they call universal binaries now, which have Intel and Apple Silicon in them. But there are some apps. For a while, Microsoft Edge was this way. You had to either download the Intel version or the Apple Silicon version. It wasn't just a universal thing. I don't know if they're still doing that, but that was a thing for a little while. And so what I recommend is open up Activity Monitor, go to View, and choose all processes to make sure you're seeing everything. Then go to View Columns and make sure Kind is checked. And then you click on the Kind column to sort it. And when you sort it with the caret pointing down, all of the Intel stuff will appear at the top of the screen. And you get to see what apps of yours are running Intel. And then you can go and look to see if there are apps that fix that. So, yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, Adam.
I was just saying, I can confirm that Edge still asks you.
Okay.
I just downloaded it and it asked me, do I want Intel or Apple Silicon?
I don't. Yeah, it seems like a bad. Which one did they guide you towards? Did they say what did they say was most common?
No, they were both up there, both buttons.
Okay. Because
pick it.
Yeah, let me look. Download Edge, because for a while it was saying that Intel was most common. And I was like, well, is that true anymore?
I would think your computer would report what it is and guide you to that, but that would require actual web development on their end. So
yeah, but Safari masks a lot of that now, Pete.
Yeah, that makes sense
for privacy. So. It has changed, and the Mac with Apple Silicon is listed as the top option, and it doesn't try to guide you in any other way other than that. So
there were just the two options there.
There was just it used to say Mac with Intel processor. And then in parentheses, most common. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah. But yeah, try that. I'm also a big fan before I do a migration, and just even on a regular basis, I will go and run MacUpdater on a Mac before I do a migration or an upgrade. Even if I'm not putting new hardware in place, before I do an upgrade, like say on my wife's Mac or something, before I upgraded her to Sonoma, I ran MacUpdater to make sure that I had the up-to-date versions of all the things, because, you never know. You never know. I like running that on a regular basis, but, not everybody is as obsessive about upgrades.
Yeah, I'm not as good about that as I should be.
MacUpdater, man, I don't know. I love it. Makes life so easy. Right. Yeah, it's great. Do you run MacUpdater, Adam?
No, I mean, I have cleaned my Mac X. Got to get this right. I always want to say 10. That's wrong. Clean my Mac X, which has a feature like that where you can go in and you can see they have a listing of what apps you have and what's up to date and what's not up to date. So I'll occasionally use that, but most apps ask you these days or tell you these days when you launch the app. So
yeah. Yes. But my thing is, I don't like it when I go to launch an app and it's like, hey, do you want to update right now? It's like, no, I want to run the app right now. That's why I clicked launch. So that's where I love MacUpdater, because there are some apps that I only run maybe once a month or even once every couple of months. But when I run them, I want to be running the latest version. But often I always run at a pretty fast clip. If I launch the app, it's like, no, I kind of need it like right away. Zoom is a great example. I mean, I run Zoom often enough that it's going to update itself regularly. But if you're only running Zoom once a month, there's probably been 4 updates since the last time you ran Zoom, and you might want one of those. I don't know. So that's my
yeah.
At
work we have to use this single sign-on thing called Duo, and it gets really angry if Chrome isn't up to date. So it will tell you need to update your Chrome. Like it doesn't make you, but it's like,
it makes you sorry you haven't. Yes.
And they update Chrome all the time. So every
right.
day, it's like,
oh yeah, Chrome is crazy. Yeah, in terms of the updates. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I don't know. I like MacUpdater. It's it just makes my life easy. So, and then I'm also a big fan because of running Brew Upgrade from my terminal, because I run Brew. Actually, even better than Brew Upgrade is to first type Brew space install space topgrade, and then run topgrade, because topgrade not only upgrades all of your Brew packages, but all of your Ruby stuff. It checks for system updates. It updates like 6 different things all at once. So
Geek.
Top grade. Yeah. Yes, Pete. Yes, I'm here. What do you need? What do you need? All right, Adam, you want to take us to LockTutor?
Yeah, LockTutor says, is it okay to upgrade to macOS Sonoma? I currently have a 2019 27-inch iMac with a 3.1 gigahertz 6-core Intel processor and 64 gigabytes of DDR memory. I have a Ventura 13.5 installed and a 500 gigs of free space on my 1 terabyte drive. I'm wondering if it's safe to upgrade to Sonoma 14.1.1 and if doing so has any benefits. I'm not interested in the shiny new toys like screensavers, widgets, and stickers. I am not a gamer. However, if there are valid reasons, especially regarding enhanced security, I'm willing to do it as long as it doesn't affect my current performance. Also, any gotchas to watch out for? Your advice.
So
off the top of my...
Yeah, no, you go ahead because you're on Intel.
Off the top of my head, I upgraded right away. I would agree. I'm not really interested in any of the new shiny toys, widgets, things. I'm not really using those. I've played around with them. But yeah, I just did it because I just like to be on the latest thing. And as far as my research showed, there were really no issues. And even some, I know, Dave, you'll probably talk to this, some improvements.
Yeah. I mean, it's an evolution. I am loving Sonoma. And of course, you know, for anybody that's listened for more than a week, there's the asterisk of, except that it broke all my mail plugins and I had to move to Thunderbird to run my mail the way that I want to run it. Be that as it may, it's been fine. I'm doing fine with that. All the rest of the stuff, though, Sonoma has fixed a lot of things, including all the core audio stuff that Ventura broke terribly for us. So, and it's been running smooth. The only asterisk that's left is, coincidentally with all of this, my M1 Mini in the office with 16 gigs of RAM seems to run into memory pressure far more regularly than it used to. But I know that I am unique in this. We have other 16 gig Macs in the house that don't run into this problem. Many of you have reported you have 16 gig Macs that don't run into this problem. So I think it's something about my setup. And really what I need to do is just like go through and say, well, what am I, you know, maybe run Lingon and have it show me all the things that are starting up that I've forgotten about over the years, or maybe it's time for a nuke and pave. But I think it's probably more that than it is, you know, Sonoma as the issue. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I recommend it. Have you upgraded yet, Pete?
No,
it's okay. You don't have to say yes.
I meant to last week. I really did, and you know, life got in the way, and I just didn't. I probably will before I go on this next trip starting this week. But
okay.
You know, I need to do it. I still like the way my mail works, and having to give up small cube mail plugins. Yeah. So there's things. Small Cubed has said that a new client is coming that embeds that it's a brand new mail client that takes all of their plugins and makes them part of first party features. Works seamlessly
client.
With their
Yeah. The question is, what will the user experience of that client be? And as far as I know, anyone who might have had any user experience has been asked not to talk about it yet. That's as far as I know.
Okay.
So that's all I can say. But let's just say I remain hopeful that Mail Maven might well be a good option, down the road. A couple of months probably is what my guess is their release cycle. So yeah.
No, but we'll get through it. And the good news
I've been
is
okay with Thunderbird too.
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is with all mail on IMAP and all of that now, changing mail clients, I don't want to say it's trivial because if you've got a lot of mail to sync, it will take some time. And then you got to set up all your signatures. And so there is time that you must invest. but it is doable. And you can run 2 mail clients in parallel with each other. So Pete, like for you,
Fair enough, yeah.
you know, if your only holdup is needing to auto CC for our Mac Geek Gab stuff, you could compartmentalize that to Thunderbird and just use Apple Mail for everything else.
Yep.
And
That's
it's
not
all
a bad
going to be
idea. I'll
I
nod
know.
louder. Sorry. No, it's not a bad idea. And I probably should move in that direction. And then and it would be cleaner for me as well, because now I'm up to 5 different email accounts I'm managing in the mail client.
Yep.
And as nice as it is to have it all in one place, it makes it very convoluted when I'm looking for something in the sent mailbox from this mail address and not that mail address. And yeah, I know it can do a global search, but that really convolutes.
And then sometimes you want a very specific search. Yeah,
Yes.
and mail can do that too. But
Sure.
truly compartmentalizing it by breaking it out into different clients, like it is all doable. As I've been testing different mail clients over the last few months, it's like, oh yeah, like if I want to go test, if I bothered to set one up, I can just, even if it's been a month since I've launched it, I just launch it again and it syncs up and everything's there. It's like, oh yeah, it doesn't mess with what I'm doing elsewhere. You know, the world is different than it was when we were running Eudora 100 years ago with POP accounts, where if it downloaded into one mail client, it didn't make it to any of the others. And heaven forbid you wanted to run, you know, multiple instances of mail on multiple computers. That just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
So.
And my wife tried to set up a mail account. She has a mail account at work for her travel agency, and she was trying to set one up the other day as POP. And I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
You know, you'll never find what you're looking for. Your
Yes.
phone will grab it and your computer will never see it. And
Yeah.
no, IMAP is the way to go.
No. So yeah, I've been really happy with Sonoma. So you too, Adam, even on Intel, Sonoma's okay.
Oh yeah, it's been great. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I saw basically no change at all to my daily sort of stuff. So whatever
That's
improvements
great.
I have, I guess I have. But really, the only noticeable thing is like when I'm doing audio stuff, that new little icon that shows if your mic is on or up in the menu bar. That's probably the biggest visual change that I've really seen.
Yeah.
because I'm not using the widgets or anything like that. Screensavers are kind of nice and.
Hey, remember
it's
before the
open
show,
thing.
Adam, you couldn't get your camera to work in Chrome?
Yep.
And we were talking about, I wonder where the spots are to turn off camera access. And we decided it was only in system settings privacy.
Mhm.
There is one other place in Sonoma to do that, because when something's asking for the camera, the little camera icon appears on the top of the screen. So that might have been it. I don't know.
It wasn't showing up there, so it wasn't definitely not being recognized.
It wasn't even okay. So it wasn't even attempting. Gosh, that's so
Yeah.
weird. All right. Well, at least Edge worked. So
Yeah.
All right. Andrew's got a question. Pete. Andrew says, last week I took 2 calls on my Apple PowerBeats Pro. I use these for exercise primarily. Both callers said my voice was unintelligible, so I switched to speaker. I thought I may have some, now Notes is yelling at me. Cruft near the mic. Why can't I see? This is driving me crazy. I want to see the other.
Got to pull it down. He thought he had schmutz in the mic. It's a technical term.
Yeah, you are editing this. And
I'm not.
Notes is not letting me see the second page without doing all sorts
I
of
have
convoluted things. But I'm doing it. I'm there now.
I'm not editing it, I swear.
Anyway, he says, but that's the thing, is because you have it open, it's not,
okay. There you
it
go.
thinks you're editing it. Yeah.
Hands up. I'm
Anyway, no, it's fine. He says, I thought I may have had Cruft on the mic. Then I did a test on my iPhone 12 mini. I have 2 lines. So I rang the line, one line to the other, and left a voicemail for myself. I listened back, and yes, it sounded like I was head first down somewhere near the S-bend. I'm not sure what that must be, an Australian term or a New Zealand term.
That's toilet thing.
Oh, all right. It's just a plumber's term that I've never heard before. Heads up down near the S-bend. I like this. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. See, we learn 5 new things. We have no idea what those 5 things are going to be. I then found an app to record audio directly from the headset mic on my phone, and the app confirmed that it was using the Bluetooth headphones, and the microphone, the audio quality was much better on this. So I want to play these recordings that Andrew talked about here, and we can be judges for ourselves on this, and then we can have a little conversation about it. So, oh wait, this first one is direct from the microphone. We get a background.
Okay, this is a test using my Bluetooth headphones on the app rather than via the telephone network, just to see what the quality of the sound is like.
All right, so that's the that's direct, as he said, and now here's the voicemail.
Okay, and this is a test over the telephone network to see what it's like going from one phone system, well, using the Bluetooth microphone.
It does sound like his head's down around by the S-bend, doesn't it, Adam?
A little bit.
I mean, like, this is, so even listening to the first one, I knew that we were dealing with a mic that doesn't have the greatest quality, right? Because you can hear it warbling and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a test using my Bluetooth headphones on the app.
So it's really warbly. The phone system is the default phone system has full 8K worth of bandwidth.
Right.
Right. And so it has to compress the audio. And we're not talking digital compression, although that also happens in today's phone system. But even just to get it down to 8K, the audio needs to be compressed and limited. And what that generally meant was just roll off all the high end and all the low end, get that mid range where the voice lives, and that's all you get.
Yeah.
But his audio wasn't great to begin. There wasn't anything good there in that range. And so when you chop off, especially the high end, there's nothing left to it in those, sibilance frequencies to be intelligible for speech. And so it doesn't surprise me. This is not a good headset. Might be great for listening to, not a good headset for calls.
And that was my answer to him. And in my perfectly tactful pilot mannerism, I said, the microphone is going to sound adequate at best, and certainly over the POTS, the plain old telephone system, it's just not working for you. He says he uses them during exercise. Quit exercising, Andrew, and you'll be fine.
Well, my guess is that they like the audio to them into the speakers.
I bet they sound great.
Sounds great. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So there are great other options out there. I've had actually fairly good luck with the AirPods Pro. Those are really nice microphones. They've got good noise canceling in them.
The AirPods, all of the AirPods, including the OG AirPods, have been the best sounding telephone headsets I've ever used.
Yeah, and for microphone especially. Your outbound sound.
Yeah.
Although I will tell you this, if you're doing any crinkling of any plastic or paper while you're talking on the phone to somebody, it drives them nuts. It's like, what are you doing?
So you're saying if you want to get off the phone, just start crinkling
just
plastic
start
or
crinkling
paper
and plastic. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Absolutely.
It's a great idea. I wish I had some here to crinkle.
Yeah,
so that I could do that for you guys, because I'm trying to get out of here. But no,
sadly, I just don't think that there's any, like you already covered it, Dave. I don't think there's any hope for the microphone in the PowerBeats Pro that he's got.
But I loved his troubleshooting here. Like test it, isolate, test, and it made it immediately obvious. It was like, okay, this is not. There's no there. There's no good sound there. In audio, we always talk about, there's the joke, fix it in post, right? You can EQ and fix, and with some of the tech that's out there now, there's a lot of amazing things. However,
he's got their name.
However, if you can fix it at the source, it's even better.
What's the fun of that?
Any thoughts on this, Adam? Before we, what are your favorite headsets?
On this is like I like my AirPods Pro for sure. Yeah. They're fabulous. But I mean, do we know where the mics on this are? If he's been using them for exercise, and how old are they? How long has he been using them? Is it possible the mics just got moisture in them and it just have degraded or become damaged over time? Or
that's a really good question. Is it obscured by some? I mean, we don't. We heard audio. We don't know. Maybe Andrew has long, bushy, curly hair, and it's covering over wherever the microphone is too, right? Like that.
Yeah. He did say he got in and made sure there wasn't any cruft down in the microphone holes.
Yeah, I'm thinking just like the mic got physically moist,
but yeah,
or
physically
wet and
damaged beyond the membrane or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was particularly bad. I'm sorry, Andrew. It just was.
Yeah. It's just bad. And this is it is a great way to test things whenever we're testing new, earbuds here or whatever. If they are earbuds that are to be used for calls in addition to music, we'll always make a call with them. And it's like, oh yeah, this sounds terrible. Okay, great. Well, we'll either let you know that, or it doesn't make the cut for a cool stuff found segment because we don't have a lot of time. We have more things to tell you about than we have time to tell you. So
Right.
we generally cut out the stuff we don't like.
You don't want to start mediocre stuff found?
Yeah. Meh stuff found. Next on Mac Geek Gab. Yeah, that's right.
So Dave, well, that goes back to something you covered it on Cool Stuff Found sometime back. It was the JBL Tour Pro 2 or Tour Pro 3.
Yeah.
I mean,
those sound great with calls.
Yeah. And I believe, are they cheaper than the AirPods?
They are. What I really like about those is the case has a screen on it, a touch screen, that you can change all the options. With AirPods, you have to dig into the control center on your phone and dig around.
Know whether to squeeze and hold, tap twice, hold your tongue out the right side of your mouth and close your left eye. Yeah.
Oh, is that them? That's the maneuver. I keep forgetting to close I always close my right eye. Yeah, dang it.
There you go.
Dang it. One last question Dallas had for us. He says, I play audio on my phone regularly, and I often use a dongle so that I can plug it into speakers and amplify it. Every time I start playing a song, it fades in. Why is that? Is there a way to get it to just start playing at the beginning of the song? And the answer, Dallas, is very simple. No. And that is the answer. The reason is that there's a DAC in your dongle. That it's not just... It's a DAC, a digital to analog converter. There's a DAC in your dongle. And if
that ain't a show title, I don't know what is.
There may be a reason that I included this in today's episode. Yes. No, my friend Dallas asked me this yesterday. We were having a rehearsal and he's like, why is this? And I that's exactly why. And he's like, oh, this makes sense. So your phone doesn't have an analog audio out. It has a digital. I mean, it does have analog audio out in the speakers, right? That's so the phone has a DAC in it for sure. But your dongle that goes from your Lightning or USB-C to mini 8th headphone jack or whatever it is you're going out to also has a DAC in it. And that DAC powers down when it's not being used so as not to overuse your battery. And then when you start playing, it says, gotta wake up. And it does wake up, but it wakes up when it starts getting audio sent through it. And so it misses it doesn't miss the audio. You miss the audio because the DAC is powering up. And that's just the way it is. I think, have you guys experienced anything different?
I like to live life dongle free.
Well, does that world even exist these days? I don't know.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But I try to as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'm wireless on most things these days. I think the way Steve Jobs always wanted it,
Well, he wanted one wire. Well, it's one wire to our Macs. And it's a shame that he never got to experience what we see now with USB-C because, man, it is. You get one wire to your Mac and then everything else can feed off of that, including power. And it's great. And he went there were so many different iterations of crazy things that Apple invented to make that work in a sort of jury-rigged way. But, USB-C solves that. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, where are we here? We've got a little time. I want to, as always, I want to take a minute and thank everybody whose contributions have come in for our Mac Geek Gab premium program in the last week or so here. I guess it's been a little over a week since we've recorded. And so just thank you so much for this. You can learn more about it at macgeekgab.com/premium. This is a program we set up for you when some of you asked if there was a way you could contribute to the show and support us directly. And so the answer is yes. It is not mandatory. It's absolutely optional. It is up to you. So if you can, and if you want to, macgeekgab.com/premium is the way to do that. And in the last week, we have had contributions from $10 contributions from Jeff in Chesterton, James in Amity Harbor, Joseph in Marietta, Paul in Lawrenceville, Stephen in Plainfield, Gary in Babylon, Jonathan in Plainsboro, got that right? Yep. John in Vienna, Stephen in Costa Mesa, James in Melbourne, and Olga in Bellevue. So thanks to, and Robert in Columbiana. That's $10 contributions from all of you. Thank you. $25 contributions thanks to Monroe in Morgantown, Tim in St. Augustine, Stephen in Let me try this one more time. Stephen in Columpton. I think that's right. I'm sure I said it with the wrong accent. My apologies. Brent in Philadelphia, Michael in Attleboro, Peter in Oslo, and someone whose first name I don't have in Orlando. Oh, someone, Mr. or Mrs. Person X in Orlando. So thanks to all of you. And then I believe there was one $30 contribution from Rob in Sormsand. And thanks to you very much for that. MacGeekGab.com/premium is where you're going to go. And you all rock. Thank you. There are many ways to support the show. That's one of them. Really listening to the show, interacting, sending in your questions. But truly, listening is where it starts. And we thank all of you for doing that. It's absolutely amazing. All right. Pete, you want to take us to cool stuff found?
Yeah, mostly cool stuff. Yeah. This one, I got this for a Christmas gift years ago, and it's one of the, I know who gave it to me, when she gave it to me, all that good stuff. It is a great one. It's the AirFly by TwelveSouth. And it allows you to take your 1/8" jack and plug it into AirFly, hence, the audio jack on an airplane, so that you can watch video over Bluetooth. So when you're sitting on the aisle and the guy in the window seat needs to get up, you don't have to unplug your cord so he trips over it and that sort of thing. So speaking of dongle free, there's a little dongle that you plug in and it Bluetooth connects to your AirPods or whatever other Bluetooth headset you have, and you can listen to audio cord free on the airplane. Careful not to donate it to the airplane seatback gods, but But yeah, AirFly by TwelveSouth. I absolutely love mine. I have the original. I don't have this new one that allows you to actually share. So you and Lisa flying together can both watch the same movie and listen to the audio.
Yeah, that's the AirFly Duo.
Yeah,
allows for that. That's pretty cool. And then there's the AirFly Pro, which adds the ability to stream music from your phone to like an aux or something. Okay. Yeah. Yep. And then there is the AirFly Pro Deluxe. And that comes with that weird, like, split it out into two mono jacks for the old style airplanes.
Some of them are still using the two, left and right jacks instead of the normal.
And it comes with a little case too.
Yeah.
But
put it back into one jack like God meant it to be.
That's right. Yeah. So the AirFly Pro, I guess, is bidirectional. Is as I'm understanding it. The what I would like, and I'll make sure the folks at TwelveSouth hear this. To your point, Pete, of donating these to the airlines, because I have donated at least one of these to someone on the next flight after mine, or perhaps to a flight attendant who or part of the cabin crew who was going through and checking for such things. But they come in two colors right now, black and white. I would like to have it red and white striped, or something very, very obvious. Or what would be the other way to do? Oh, well, maybe putting an AirTag on it, but by the time you got that notification, you're off the plane. But something,
I always try to find, I call it a hook, some kind of a memory hook that, and it could be something as simple as leaving the top zipper of your backpack open so that when you pick your backpack up to leave, you go, oh, it's not been, it's not been closed, or some other way to remember that you've got that thing plugged into the seat back, and you don't want to donate a $50 item to. I
totally have it for you, Pete. Get a red marker. Okay. Go into you're going to need a mirror for this. So you're going to have to go into the lav and write on your face, remind me to get my AirFly. And then other people on the plane will happily remind you as you're getting up to get your AirFly.
Perfect, Dave.
Yeah, that's great. I'm just follow me for more. Subscribe now for more helpful tips like this. All right. Let's see what's next here. I know somebody's next. Rod is next. Rod tells us about a very cool thing called Draftable. I had never heard of this, which is why I think it's so cool. But I think now that I'm going to start using it, I'll think it's even cooler. He says, I've used Draftable to compare PDF documents, and I've been using it for years. He said, just this week, I had a business insurance policy that was being renewed for next year. I took the PDF from last year's policy and compared it to the PDF from this year's policy and found one critical difference in a 20-page PDF. Two of the business owners reviewed the document and did not catch this change. Had we not run it through Draftable, it may have gotten signed as is. That's pretty cool. Huh. Yeah. Have you guys ever heard about this? Draftable.
I had not. That sounds awesome.
I know. Yeah. This is what a great little thing. Because I talk about how I use BB Edit or BB Diff really from the command line often to compare like text files, but like PDFs, no. Unless you copy all the text from it, but then formatting is going to make it act like there were changes that there weren't. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And I've always used Delta Walker to compare files in a given folder or volumes.
Yeah.
But I never realized you could get as granular as.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Do you have any cool stuff found, Adam, or should I keep trucking along
I
with
do actually.
Okay,
I do have something. I threw it in here last minute.
Okay.
It is, I mentioned earlier that I am currently doing a play. And obviously to do that, you need to learn lines. And, I don't always have family members around or people to help me out with those. So I had gone looking for a relatively affordable tool to learn my lines with. And I found this one from a company called Manic Pixel called CSF-SceneStudy. Unfortunately, it's only an iPhone app, or maybe fortunately, I don't know. I use it on my iPhone.
Okay.
You can load it on an iPad, but it does that weird, tiny thing. But what's cool about it is that you can record the lines into it, and you can set up a play or what you're working on, and then you can break it into the individual scenes, and then you basically just read the parts. It records it through the audio. If you use your AirPods or whatever, you just record all the lines in there. And then when you come back to rehearse it, it gives you the option to have that line played and then your line silenced, or you could read along with it or whatever. And so you just put all the parts in there, or get people to put the parts in there, and it just makes rehearsing super, super easy. I mean, it's really simple. It's not like a complicated app.
Yeah.
That was another thing I was looking for. A lot of these there's, some higher end ones that are more expensive, but for what I need, community theater, this works out great.
That's great. So, and what is it free, or did it cost you something nominal?
It's like $2.99 or something like that.
Perfect. Huh.
I want to say
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
$3. $3. So,
all right. That's great. Wow.
Yeah. A lot of the more professional, they have more professional ones, but those are either a subscription,
Sure.
40, $50 a year, which
Yeah.
if you need that, those are great too. But
Yeah.
I just needed something simple to help me learn my lines.
That's cool. Huh? Cool. And it helped, like you were able to like it.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely great. Yeah, like I said, because you can silence your part, and so big part of learning the lines is knowing the line before yours, right? So
right. Oh yeah, because it's yeah. I've never put myself in a position where I have to learn lines. I'm in positions all the time where I have to learn music, and I suppose it's very similar. But I've watched people, they know their lines based on the lines of the person before them. And if they don't hear that, if that line's screwed up,
could be disastrous.
Then the next one, like with music, the best way is if you know everyone's parts. So if that guy screwed up, that's fine. They know if you screwed up, that's fine. But you know how to cover for each other when you know what each other should be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously that's the goal certainly with stage acting too, is to get to the point where everybody knows everybody's parts and can cover when there's those problems. But when you're doing your, opening night, but usually by opening night, you don't have everybody else's parts memorized yet. So, yeah. Cool. Another cool little tool from listener Rich this time. Somebody was asking in our Discord, Todd asked if anybody knew of a good app that used AI or machine learning pattern recognition to fix slightly fuzzy photos. And sure enough, Rich told us about Sharpen AI, which is built to do exactly this. It is an AI-powered image sharpener. You can try it for free on their website, or you can buy it for $80. So it's not cheap, but it's probably worth what they Rich certainly confirms that it's worth what you would pay for it to really sharpen those images. And
I wonder if it works on webcams during live streaming of a podcast. Okay, little inside joke there. Dave was having trouble with the focus on his cam about 10 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
it would not focus for him.
No, it wouldn't. I finally had to just switch to a different lens and then come back, and then it was fine. It was like, what do I do to trigger my kingdom for a button to trigger autofocus? Yeah.
Right. I thought you were looking like Lucille Ball in MAME when she was 75 years old, trying to make herself look a little younger back in the 70s.
Yeah, no, they didn't airbrush my face, man. It was just...
That was the 30s soft focus technique. Yeah, just smear some Vaseline on the lens.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that's what I started wondering, because as you guys were talking, I'd put my hand up to the lens to try and get it to realize that something, because that's what caused it. I thought was I lifted my hand up and it focused on that and then never came back around. But I couldn't get it to do it. But it wasn't Vaseline. I didn't over Vaseline the lens.
So Sharpen AI. That's cool.
Sharpen AI. Yeah. I found, I'm a big fan of these 3-in-1 chargers where you get your phone charging magnetically, your watch charging, and then a charger in the base for for like AirPods or another phone or whatever. I saw a new one of these. It is truly MagSafe, which means you're paying the Apple tax, so it's $150, like they all are. But this one's from our friends at Mophie. And it is their 3-in-1 extendable stand for iPhone. So yes, it is a 3-in-1. It's got your truly MagSafe charger for your phone, your fast charger for the Apple Watch, and then a base charger for whatever you want it to be. AirPods is the general thing. But what's cool is the top of it is extendable, and you can extend it from about 7.5 inches where your phone sits from the base all the way up to 16 inches, which can be really handy if you're using your phone as like a webcam or something like that. Getting it up to face level can make a pretty big difference. So this is one of those interesting things that may be better on a desk than, say, a bedside table, so that you can really take advantage of the extendable option, which is it's pretty cool. What impressed me about this when I first used it was I just grabbed it and lifted up, and it lifted up without the base coming, jumping off the table, but it's not so heavy that it's ridiculous. So They found that perfect weight balance to where it holds itself wherever you put it, and you don't have to like mess with the thing jumping all around when you're trying to adjust it. So very well designed, which is not a great surprise. The people at Mophie/Zag, they know what they're doing. Yep. And Zag, speaking of, they offer you 20% off your first order. They're one of those websites where you go there and it's like, hey, do you like saving money? Give us your email address and you get 20% off your first order. So this could be your first order, and saving 20% off of the $150 price might be the best way to get it, because at least at this moment, Amazon doesn't have any deals on this. So you're paying $150 there. Well, $149.95, but you know, kind of how it goes. So nice little Christmas gift for someone that might or might not need it. You got our next one up for us, Pete, here in Cool Stuff Found?
And this is for people who are trying to figure out, I want to do something thoughtful for somebody for Christmas, but they're just so hard to buy for. Everything they, maybe they buy for themselves everything they want, or I just don't know what to get them. So this comes from a company called robinsbirdbraindesigns.com. And in this case, I'm holding up for those watching on video, but it's a little custom slate coaster that is, in this case, it has an airspeed indicator on it, laser engraved on a slate coaster with my tail number on it. So, but, you could have a sorority or a fraternity or, I don't know, Knights of Columbus or whatever group you may belong to, or your company logo.
You could put the Mac Geek Gab logo on there.
You could put the Mac Geek Gab logo on those. And, some names and, squadrons and call signs is what we're using a lot for over at my other show.
Yeah, sure.
So that's a way to give somebody a thoughtful gift that's personalized to them. But she doesn't only do those things. She does all kinds of laser engraved things. One of the cool things that I saw over there was taking a child had drawn a dinosaur. How do you say driven? Drawn a dinosaur, past tense. And they took that design and put it in, made a digital image of it, and then put it onto a clear lucite thing that then mounted into a nightlight. So the child had his dinosaur on his nightlight in his room.
Yep.
That's really
Those
cool.
are the kind of things that they'll do. So so the coasters and such are at robinsbirdbraindesigns.com. And then the other link in the show notes is bit.ly/robinsetsy.
Got it.
And bit.ly/robinsetsy. And that's, reach out to Robbins Bird Brain Designs through that link. They have all kinds of cool laser etched, laser engraved items that'll help you personalize that gift for somebody this holiday season. And she asks that you get your orders in by December 15th. So time's a wasting.
Yeah, well, you got some time. Yeah.
Got 11 days from the time this hits the streets to get it.
Absolutely.
So.
And I did it, and then I noticed that I did it, Pete, and then I noticed that you did it too, and I was going to correct myself, but you jumped ahead of me. I said for Christmas gifts, as you did, Pete. It's really obviously holiday gifts of any kind. Yeah.
Birthday gifts even, because we have 3 birthdays in 2 weeks between Christmas and New Year's.
We do too. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Because it wasn't busy enough with 2 major holidays.
That's right. Yeah. You got anything to add to that, Adam, before we move on to the next thing?
No, that laser engraving stuff is great. I don't know if she does these or not, but it was really nice when we moved, because we moved a year ago, or almost 2 years ago now, here to South Dakota. And our real estate agent, when we closed, gave us a laser engraved cutting board with the the shape of South Dakota on it, which was kind of nice.
That's really nice.
Welcome.
Very cool. That's a great, if you're a real estate agent, something like that.
Yeah. So we still use it. It's in our kitchen now. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Think of it.
Personalized gifts are a great idea. Always a great idea, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
They show you've put some thought into it.
Yeah.
Not just gone out and bought a gift card. Yeah. Here's some cash.
Yeah. But if you want to get,
if you want to give me gift cards,
that's right.
That's Pilot Pete. The address is.
I mean, that's the thing about gift cards is like, as long as you pick a card for a place that the person will use, they are often extremely well received. Like, it seems like, and it is a last minute sort of, or maybe not even last minute, like a punt on, I don't know what to get you, so here's this. But I don't know anybody that's ever upset about getting a gift card either. So,
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah. speaking of holiday season and this show coming out December 4th, we're smack dab in the thick of it now. I wanted to talk about a few different smart home things that I am having fun with this holiday season in terms of lights. The first are strip lights. I have strip lights from GE. That's right. So these are.
Well, what's going on in your house?
It's a family show, Dave.
These are strip lights.
Oh, not
Adam.
stripper.
That's right. Yeah, this is a strip of lights, and what's cool about it is I put them across our mantle, and I started having them do holiday colors or whatever, and I got an 84-inch strip of lights, so it like fits perfectly on our mantle, and of course they're all smart home controllable, and you can have it, do different patterns. These GE sync lights are very cool, and it just, I have it on the very back of our mantle, so it kind of backlights all the other like trinkets and tchotchkes and all the other things that we put on the mantle. As soon as I put it on there, Lisa was like, that's going to stay year round. We're just going to change the colors. I'm like, absolutely had the same thought.
Go.
Yep. And for those of you watching it, have watched the video, if you're watching now, or if you have ever watched the video of this, certainly over the last year, I have a light strip behind me. I have the Eve light strips behind me. These are the things that make the purple wall behind me even more purple. It is a purple wall, but I have the light set to purple, and so it gives this nice sort of backlit hue to things, which helps with the whole 3-point lighting thing that's going on. But there's a lot of different places where you can use these light strips. Some of them are available for outdoors. Most of them, you can extend them just by buying more light strips, so you can have a lot of fun with it, and they're like super flexible. They all come with adhesive backing, so you can stick them to things. I didn't even have to stick them to our mantle. I just kind of flattened it out and put it there and laid it across, and it's fine. I did the same on the table behind me. So go ahead, Pete.
I'll tell you what I did with the set that I have.
Yeah.
I now have under cabinet lighting in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And so that makes a beautiful little night light. It's an accent light, but a night light. And for,
idea.
How cheap is that? That used to cost you, that's $1,000 option to put lights under your cabinet when you put your cabinets in.
Trust me, we just did our kitchen, and they were like, "Do you want to do this for $1,000?" I was like, "No,
I'll do it for $48."
I'll do it for exactly, and I'll have all the colors I want forever. Yeah, thank you very much.
For asking.
But thanks for asking. Yeah, man, it's crazy. The next thing that's really fun, we put these on our tree, is the Twinkly lights. These things, you can put them on anything. They are just, it's a strip. What we have is a double strip of these things. They are Wi-Fi connected. You put them anywhere. Like I said, we put them on our tree. Bob Levitas famously did this whole board that he created holes for them and put them in. The cool part about it is put the lights on your tree, get coverage. Then you use your phone to scan the camera in your phone with their app, scans the tree and builds its own map of your lights. And then you can have shapes and patterns and all of that going across whatever shape and surface you put these on, your tree, some board on a wall. It doesn't matter. And you can have all kinds of fun effects going because it knows how to draw in different portions. Like there's a whole thing where you can have the Batman logo on your Christmas tree and all kinds of fun stuff.
One of the cool ones I saw was somebody just did red and white lights and did a candy cane and then it moved.
Absolutely. I have
the barber pole stripe.
Exactly. The barber pole on the Christmas tree is one of the things we have.
Cool.
It's really, really cool. Yeah. It's one of the coolest things. We pack our twinkly lights away with the tree every year so that when we pull them out, we forget about them. And it's like, oh wait, the twinkly lights. It's like, yes, we can put the twinkly lights on the tree. We can all get excited about, yeah. So yeah, it's fun.
I like that. I like that shot in the with them just hanging on the curtain rod. That would be really cool and look really cool,
yes,
probably from outside.
Yep.
And
yeah,
they do come in different form factors. There's the icicle lights and all that.
Yeah,
as well.
that's right. They do have icicle lights too now with the Twinklies. Yeah, they're worth checking out. It's fun. It really, it's a fun way to do things.
They are cheap, but
what's that?
They're not cheap.
No, it's
That one's gonna
$128
cost you,
bucks.
folks.
Yeah. I know. Cool Stuff Found is
But
expensive.
if you go to, you sure own it on Amazon. But I know I've gone to their website, and there's actually a little thing going, how tall is your tree?
Yeah.
How much coverage do you want, light, medium, thick? And it recommends what their product to give you best what you want.
Yeah.
On their
Yeah.
website.
That's at twinkly.com. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, they've got all kinds of cool ones. Yeah, it's fun. And you can get 10% off if you go to twinkly.com just for sharing your email address. You can share your email address with us too, folks, and it won't get you anything. You won't save anything, but you will get the show notes with links to all the things that we're mentioning delivered straight to your email every week when the episodes come out. The next fun thing that I did with lights is these Lumary, they're landscape lighting. I took these, we just did a patio last year, and it sort of backs up to the woods behind our house. And I set these landscape lights up to just aim away from the patio into the woods. There's 6 of them. And again, they're LED, multicolor, and ridiculously bright. 3,000 lumens, right? Like these things are like spotlights. I have them going every night now, and it's not just going to be for Christmas time. I like having the trees behind the house lit up with this hue while we're sitting in the hot tub, or even just from in the house looking out the back window. It is so cool to see this multicolored sort of pattern just happening on the trees. But you could also aim these at your landscaping, like if you have like shrubs next to a walk or whatever, and you want to light those up in this way. These are cool. Also not inexpensive. They're $250 on Amazon for the 6-pack, but there's a $50 coupon on Amazon and a 10% promo code on Amazon, at least right now. So that's the link I'll put in the show notes for all of you. And, I love to do this every year, so I'm going to do it. I love a really bright, were you guys fans of the X-Files? Did you watch the X-Files, Adam?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For sure. I haven't watched it in years, but I'd love to go back and rewatch it for sure.
Did you watch the X-Files, Pete?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
One of the things that impressed me in the very first episode, and it remained consistent throughout the series, was how they could be in the dark somewhere and they would turn on their flashlight. And it was like they brought in like stadium lighting that emanated from the tip of their flashlight. Folks, you can now have this. And my suggestion for this year comes from a company called Olight. And they have all kinds of different lights, and all of them are ridiculously bright. Like, so ridiculous. It's crazy. We had some hunters actually in the woods behind our house a couple of weeks ago, and it was after dark. They were being kind of sketchy. It was like sort of weird. I was trying to talk to them. And so I just lit this light up, and it lit up not just the hunters in the woods, but and they weren't shooting. You can't shoot a gun after dark here in New Hampshire for hunting.
You can.
Well, not for hunting. It's against the
not legally.
rules. Correct. But they were out like finishing up or whatever. But they were being kind of sketchy because they were staying in the same area and it didn't make sense. So I wanted to light them up. I used this little flashlight. It lit up like the entirety of the woods behind my house. Crazy 4,600 lumens in this tiny little flashlight. It's going to be $140, but it's from Olight. Yeah. And it is it's rechargeable with USB-C, right? So it can be a little battery and all those cool things. And it has, it doesn't have to run at 4,600 lumens. It has a brightness dial on the flashlight itself. So you can set it and get it into like moonlight view, where it's just giving you like a little bit of light, which is what you probably want most of the time. You don't really need that X-Files 4,600 lumens to light up the world. But if you do, when you do, it's at the tip of your finger right there. So I'll put a link in the show.
I've got a couple comments about this.
Okay.
One is if you've got a pilot to buy for, this is a great item for it's by law we carry a flashlight, and so that's a great item for a pre-flight.
Yep.
So that's a very specific use for it. A broader use, and I was going to say ladies, but truly anybody, I would carry this. I used to remember my mother always carried a stinking whistle on her keychain. Well, if I'm attacked, I'm going to blow a whistle. Okay, so someone can hear you getting attacked, I guess, and more and more these days, it is, people kind of stay back for their own safety. The benefit of having this light, if you're walking at night and giving this to somebody who may find themselves in that situation, is this is going to do more than a whistle. Because if you turn that light on and shine it in somebody's eyes when they're not expecting it, you've just given yourself a few extra seconds. It's a great initial self-defense item, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. Oh no, I keep one in my car. It's like, I keep one in my gig bag so that I always have a flashlight at gigs. Stages are dark sometimes. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you're walking alone at night or something, and don't do that. One, don't do that.
Yeah.
Two, if you have to, this may prove the difference in your ability to create some distance between you and someone with nefarious intent. Absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, no, and they've got all kinds of different form factors of lights at olightstore.com too. So it's just fascinating how bright these things are. It's amazing. I love it.
Crazy.
I love it. Yep. It's hard to believe until you do it. Like when I lit up those hunters, it was like, what? Like this is crazy. It's now like I have stadium lighting. Awesome. The battery will last between 5 minutes and 12 days, depending on how bright you run this thing. So, choose wisely.
I bet 5 minutes is bright.
5 minutes is full brightness. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
Thanks
for hanging out with us, folks.
3,000 lumens. I thought 3,000 lumens is bright. 4,600.
4,600 is crazy.
50%
it's
more.
Crazy. In the palm of your hand. Yeah. It's a lot of power to wield. Yep. I live pretty close to an airport. I wonder if I'm violating anything if I shine that up in the air at night.
Well, you get someone's attention. I guarantee that. I don't think you're violating anything, but you could get someone's attention from a long way off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You got anything to add, Adam? I know I started the band in because I know we have we've
No. Those are all great picks. I would take us down another rabbit hole, so I'm not going to even start.
Okay. All right. Well, you're back next week, right? Like you're here for.
I'm here now.
Great. Whether we like it or not.
Can't get rid of him now.
I'm so happy you're here, Adam.
Me
this
too.
Is great.
This is cool.
Yep. This is great. I having those conversations in the car at MacStock, it was like, oh, wait a minute, this dynamic is good. Like, I wonder what sort of world would have to transpire for us to be able to do this on a regular basis. And then here we are. So
here we are.
It's great.
Yeah.
Here we are. Yeah, it's great. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. Thanks for checking out CacheFly. That's the company that provides all the bandwidth to get the show from us to you. You can check out the show notes at macgeekgab.com or very specifically mgg.fm/1012 because that is the magic little engine that Adam set up for us years ago. So that'll get you right to this. You can find out all the links for everything. Thank you so much. You can check out our sponsors, of course, fastmail.com/MGG. Adam.
Yeah.
What does Pete's shirt say?
He has advice for nighttime hunters in Dave's backyard. Don't get caught.
Made on a Mac.
Later. Perfect. Fun.
And we're out.